This is next story is one of those stories about the headline versus the reality. What I mean by that is we often will come to you with a story where I will tell you, here's the headline of how it's being reported, and then here's the reality, or here's the sort of more important angle. Donald Trump and AIDS are reportedly, according to some headlines, on tape laughing and joking about that horrible terrorist ambush that took place in Niger in 2007 that left 4 American service members dead. Now, you might remember our coverage of that incident. It happened in October of 2017, nearly a year ago. U.S. Special Forces were attacked, and 4 of them ended up losing their lives. There is a recording that has been made by former White House communications aide Omarosa Manigault-Newman. And the headlines would lead you to believe that Trump is straight up laughing and joking about the deaths of those 4 U.S. military service members. Now, I'm going to play it for you, and if you're like me, you will quickly realize that the news here is not Trump laughing about the deaths of service members, but it's something else. So let's take a listen to this clip.
We had 3.2 last quarter before this, so it's really going good. And we have a lot of things happening on the economic front. I think the military is doing good. And now on Niger. So what happens is we have decimated everybody. It's a rough business. They're rough too. They want to kill us. We've let the military do what they have to do. And whether you call it rules of engagement or any way you want to say it, but we've let them do. And in the Middle East, there's very few left. We've done a very good job. We've done more in 7 months, because really it's 7 months that we started. We've done more in 7 months than they've done in 8 years. Okay, and so they're good there. But what happens is now they flee, and they flee to Africa, and they flee to Niger and countries around there. And that's how these young people get attacked, and they got attacked by 50 real fighters. But these were people, in many cases, that were in the Middle East that now go to Africa to try and, cause problems there. And ultimately, they want to come back here, because this is where they really want to be. So it's a rough business. I don't think I'd want to be a terrorist, right? It's not a good life, but it's the only thing that. What else is there? But that is, people don't say that. The reason they're there is because we forced them out, and there's not nearly as many. It's not nearly as intense, but it's pretty intense, and you see that happening. So that's that. I think Hillary's getting killed now with Russia.
So the real news here is not about Trump joking about dead service members. People in the room are laughing. Trump does appear to, like with most things, not understand sort of the seriousness of what's going on. But it's just not accurate to say Trump was laughing about the deaths or even laughing about the ambush. He was laughing about the idea that it's really bad to be a terrorist now because he's going after people so hard. The real revelations from this clip are, number one, even in the middle of all this stuff related to Niger, Trump still can't say Niger. That's notable because at that point he must have heard it, hundreds of times from people that are around him. Number two, that he has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, this is a word salad reminiscent of Sarah Palin, who would experience these completely futile attempts to use language to communicate anything of meaning, Trump seemingly falling into sort of that same thing. And number three, even in private, Donald Trump was still transitioning from talking about this ambush in Niger to talking about Hillary colluding with Russia. That's the news here. It's not clear that Trump has any clue what the hell he's talking about. And as far as Trump telling jokes and his sense of humor, the guy has a real, one of the indications that someone may have sort of some serious either personality issues or mental illness or emotional issues is that their sense of humor seems very off in different ways. And this is not to stigmatize any condition or to cast aspersions. It's just sometimes you notice that somebody has something about them that is not functioning completely correctly based on their sense of humor and what they seem to laugh at or not laugh at. Trump's sense of humor has something fundamentally wrong with it. You might remember he was roasted on Comedy Central some time ago. And he seemed completely unable to sort of get what was going on and understand humor. You might remember years ago when President Obama was still president that Donald Trump was in the audience during a White House Correspondents' Dinner, and Obama told some, quite frankly, pretty funny jokes about Donald Trump, and Trump simply did not laugh, and it wasn't clear that he wasn't laughing because he was upset that he was the butt of jokes. It doesn't seem that he understands satire or humor, but for whatever reason, in this case, even though Trump's not laughing at dead soldiers, he found that the sort of circumstance where he would joke in general. And the disgusting thing is really his general handling of that ambush in Niger. We learned that while on the phone with one of the widows of one of the 4 deceased service members, Trump seemed to forget the name of the service member in question, and every element of Trump's involvement with that raid was despicable. The raid itself, its planning, the hugely questionable nature of the raid to begin with, Trump's reactions to the deaths, plural, totally deplorable. But this is not the right headline, I believe, and I think that there is a lot of interesting stuff in this recording from Omarosa. By the way, what other recordings does she have? That's really a growing, interesting question. But Trump is not laughing at dead service members as was framed by some, but still a very interesting clip. Make sure you're following The David Pakman Show on Instagram at David Pakman Show. If you aren't, you are missing behind the scenes pictures from what goes on in the studio, from my recent trip, and also make sure you're following me on Instagram at david.pakman. Quick break. Andrew Seidel from the Freedom from Religion Foundation joins me next. One of today's sponsors is Skillshare, which is an incredible online learning community offering over 10,000 high-quality online courses on a huge variety of topics. The first 500 people who click the link under this video will get 2 entire months of totally free access to every single class offered by Skillshare. You'll have free access to courses on music, art, photography, business, computer programming, cooking, meditation, and everything in between. I think you'll have no problem finding courses that are perfect for you. I just took a really fascinating class on watercolor painting, which I am not yet at the level of trying to perfect, but more at the level of trying to learn even just a little bit about. Our show is giving you 2 entire months of totally free access to every course offered by Skillshare, risk-free. If you click the link under this video, you'll have 2 whole months to take classes on anything you're passionate about, classes taught by real people who share your passion, and after that you can keep getting access to the entire site for less than $10 a month. Just click the link under this video to redeem your 2 free months of Skillshare, but hurry, because it's only available to the first 500 people who sign up.